Ishi bila wasi na Red Relax kutoka Vodacom. Piga nyota 149 nyota 01 alama ya reli, chagua Red.
Vodacom, power to you.
Since you left Kenya, major things have happened. One, the chairman, Mr. Chepkati, has come out to, in a way, support your claim that, as you see it, the elections, if they have to take place, they won't be fair, free, and credible, as it was directed by the Supreme Court. The chief of the Secretariat, Mr. Chiloba, has taken a leave of absence, 3 weeks leave of absence, and Jubilee has taken NASA to court to compel them to come to participate in the elections. Given those things, do you still think that the election should take place?
Look, Chris, if all these moves were being made 4 weeks ago, you know, when we were calling for them, if the CEO and other senior staff had left a few weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, then you could say that it could make a difference. But leaving 6 days before the election really does not make any difference, because every structure that had, you know, the confidence building needed to be done before. It's too late, in my view, to say that by, you know, the CEO going on leave now, it will make a huge difference. It will not. And, you know, and it's not just about that one person. The credibility of the election is all the other issues that I have raised. It's all about how do you ensure that the training that had been going on, that has been stopped. I have seen reports that some of the training of presiding officers are stopped because of incidents of violence that you had there. You know, I raised issues on technology, on the fact that, you know, we were having changes in the technology, the transmission of results too late in the day. So those things have not been resolved. Those things have not been addressed. And, you know, the concerns, the security concerns that I had raised regarding our staff and voters in those regions still remain. They have not been addressed. So those are changes that are coming in too little, too late in the day. Regarding the other issues on, you know, on the court processes, on taking the leader, you know, Right Honorable Raila Odinga to court, I mean, I've said on several occasions that we're trying to use legal means and electoral means to address purely political problems. Those political problems we have to sit around the table and address those political problems. Legal challenges and going on to, you know, with an election on the 26th of October, which the chairman himself has said he cannot guarantee that it's going to be a credible process, really for me defeats the purpose of our whole electoral process. Because you need, you know, the Supreme Court didn't ask us to go back, or didn't ask that the commission goes back and organizes any election. It said that the commission had to go and organize an election that was going to be consistent with the Constitution and consistent with the existing laws. There are many questions that are being raised on whether what we are doing so far meets those the standards set out by the Supreme Court.
We are barely 3-4 days. Do you think, given your inside knowledge as a commissioner, a former commissioner, do you think IEBC is actually ready for the elections in a week's time?
I enumerated things, you know, that needed to be fixed for us to be able to say, or for the country to be able to say that it's ready for the election. You see, if it's about just having ballot papers in place and asking people to go out and vote, yes, you can say anybody can do that. You know, you can have an election. It's not, but it's not just an election. It's about ensuring the credibility of that process, the legitimacy of that process. Those two have been questioned by none other than the chairman himself. So, you know, yes, they can proceed and have an election. And I know that there are parts, you know, we've heard very clearly that there are some politicians who are making noise and saying that an election has to happen at any cost. And I know that, you know, the majority of the commissioners there want to have that election at any cost, you know, which is consistent with what we have heard from a section of the political parties, so political actors. So yes, people will push to have that election, but is it one that is going to resolve the crisis that we have in the country right now? I don't believe so.
Again, based on your inside knowledge, why was it? Why weren't the kits that were used opened? Why was it so hard for the IEBC to open the servers for as directed by the court?
You know, one of the things that I keep talking about is the differences that we have. There's two centers of power that you have within the commission. So you have the commissioners under the leadership of the chairman making decisions, policy decisions. Then you have the CEO and the secretariat that then implements those decisions. And that is where the problem really is. So the commissioners had said, let's proceed, let's go, let's abide by the court order. But then you had a case in which the people who are supposed to implement it didn't let it happen. I mean, I recall very vividly myself and Professor Goulier going over to the 17th floor on the 28th or 29th of August and seeing the stalling that was going on there. You know, basically people were just logging in, you know, but not providing access to the system. We don't know. I mean, we've been given explanations that the security firewalls were very tight and that's why it took such a long time. But seriously, I mean, it was more from the 28th to the 29th that whatever system that you had in place, you could not be able to provide access. You could not be able to go through those firewalls and be able to give access. It's a difficult explanation to give. But also, what becomes even more tricky is that the commissioners had approved for an audit, an independent audit of the system to take place. That independent audit has not happened up to now. The commission had also asked, the commissioners had approved, that quality assurance audit is done of the system before it's used for the 26th of October election. That has not been done either. So in the absence of such independent audits being done, you can only go by the speculation that is there. So the speculation that was there on the 8th of August as it relates to the servers still remains because we have not really done our own independent audit. Saffron has done its own, but that is a vendor. So when a vendor comes and gives you their report, yes, you'll accept it for its professionalism, but it's the vendor who's giving you, who's done their self-evaluation and given you and told you that this is what happened. But you need to have an independent, a third party that looks at it and says, okay, you are the service provider. I mean, you can't audit yourself. You can't be the person who's provided the service. You're auditing yourself and you're now giving us and saying this is the audit that we have done of the system. Somebody else has to come in and do that audit and then say, okay, a third party has done this audit and this is what we have found. So in the absence really of such an independent audit done, you know, you cannot really build confidence around the issue of the technology and the issue of the servers because there are still questions that are being asked that it's difficult to be able to explain or give answers without an audit, an independent audit by the Commission itself.
Of course, no, that's even an unfair question because the elections were dismissed by the Supreme Court, as it were. A moment like that, like this, becomes a moment of reflection. As a former commissioner, in your view, where do you think things started going wrong as the results were being announced?
You know, for us at the time, the only concern we had was on election night when the system, you know, when we saw the display was not changing the results. And we asked questions, what was happening, and it took Saffron a while to figure out, and they came back to us and they said that the system there were too many people who were trying to access the system. And that is why, you know, we were not seeing a display of the results. But that is what we had from the service provider. You know, one of the things that I wish we had, you know, one of our experts there to be able to verify these things for us. And that is why, you know, on that night for me, I really wished Chris Musando was there. I really wished he was there because I felt that he would have given us an honest view of what happened. He would have, if there was something that had happened. But in the absence of that, we had to rely on the expert advice that were being given by Saffron at the point.
Does it mean that the experts that were handling the servers and the kits were not the commission experts, but experts that were given by Saffron?
Yes, a majority of those who were handling the result on that night were Saffron. It was a company that was handling most of it. We had a few of our staff there, but I mean, all the answers the responses that were being given to us on that night were from Saffron, not from our staff there.
Sibuka Loto, tumerudi tena na sasa tunaselema kwa elfu. Baada ya miaka 10, Sibuka FM imerejea tena kuwaunga mkono wakulima na wadau wote wa Sibuka nchini kote. Jishindie trekta aina ya John Deere 5065, boda boda 15, pampu za dawa 50, radio 100, majembe ya ng'ombe 50 na zawadi nyingine kem. Jinsi ya kuselema kwa elfu: piga namba ya muamala wa M-Pesa, kisha chagua kuweka namba ya kampuni ambayo ni 367777, kisha andika kumbukumbu namba 3538, kisha weka kiasi cha shilingi 1000 kwa tiketi moja. Kata tiketi nyingi zaidi kuingia draw kubwa Disemba 9 mwaka 2017, na draw za kila wiki pia zipo. Sibuka Loto, selema kwa elfu.
Ishi bila wasi na Red Relax. Jiunge na vifurushi vyetu vya Silver, Gold na Platinum na utapata dakika nyingi za kupiga mitandao yote, SMS na MB, pamoja na dakika za kupiga simu nje ya nchi. Kifurushi chako kinapoisha, una uwezo kufanya kijinunue au kijirudie chenyewe upya, huku dakika, SMS na MB zako ambazo hazijatumika zikihamishiwa kwenye kifurushi chako kipya. Si hayo tu, ukinunua kifurushi cha Red, utaweza kufurahia huduma za app ya sokoni bure, taarifa fupi za M-Pesa bure, kipaumbele ukitembelea duka lolote la Vodacom nchini, na ukipiga simu huduma kwa wateja na kuarifia ukipiga simu na kuikosa bure. Piga *149 *01 alama reli, chagua Red sasa, uishi bila wasi.
Katika kuhakikisha unahabarika na kuburudika muda wote, Global Publishers, the house of favorite newspaper, imekuletea application inayoitika kwa jina la Global Publishers. Ndani yake utakutana na shehena ya habari za papo hapo, kutazama Global TV, kuenjoy burudani ya muziki, kusoma magazeti yanayozalishwa na Global Publishers, vitabu vya kusisimua vya mwandishi na mtunzi Eric Shigongo, na michezo. Vyote hivi viko kwa ajili yako kwenye application moja tu. Ni Global Publishers. Ingia sasa Google Play na App Store na udownload bure application hii ya Global Publishers, ufurahie na kuwa wa kwanza kuhabarika. Global Publishers, the house of favorite newspaper.